Are you tired of self-doubt holding you back? Have you ever wished you could have the confidence to face your fears, go after your wildest dreams, and the tools necessary to live your best life? Hey there, amazing listeners. I'm your host and author of How to Grasp Confidence and Own Your Power. And I've made it my mission to help you break free from self-doubt and embrace confidence. Subscribe now and join us as we unlock the secrets to unshakable self-assurance. Let's dive in. NanoNares, founded and led by the accomplished Dr. Nadia Boutaoui, stands at the forefront of healthcare and innovation. Her illustrious scientific journey, starting with an engineering degree to earning a Ph.D. in plant genetics from the University of Reading in the United Kingdom. This led to the foundation of her exceptional career, marked by academic excellence at prestigious institutions like the University of Massachusetts and Harvard Medical School. Additionally, she extends her influence to the realm of education, training business leaders on the strategic implementation for AI in business growth. He's a prolific communicator and thought leader. He has earned recognition as LinkedIn's top voice in both startups and entrepreneurship. Now, she has more degrees and credentials that I can possibly name off on this episode, and she is absolutely one of the smartest people I know. And I'm so proud to call her my friend. Nadia, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. I'm so happy to be here and to give back to our communities.
Absolutely. So the title of our show is Startup Confidence. And I thought who better than to host the show with me than you, because you are an entrepreneur and really such a good example of one, somebody that really shows up confidently, because it's not easy, is it, Nadia? Entrepreneurship.
It's not easy. I thought I am ready after having 15 plus years experience in academia and managing large projects, many grants funded by the government, and an executive MBA in healthcare, being tech innovation and entrepreneurship certified. I thought I'm ready for this. Nobody tells you what the theoretical versus what's in the real life is very different. You have, the backbone, the foundation, but you learn through doing things. You learn, everything takes longer. And it's about, having that clarity of your big why, having, the persistence and the confidence that you can do it is key, because you're going to face a lot of no's, you're going to face a lot of lows. And having that internal confidence that I know this is hard, and I know I have the skill set and the mindset to learn and to evolve from there.
Yes, absolutely. It was a real wake up for me, for sure. But there's a lot of people out there, and I get this from aspiring entrepreneurs all the time. They feel like it's going to be so hard. And, for me, it goes back to your why, like what you were just talking about, and to choose your hard. Yeah. Because even if we're working for somebody else in a corporate environment, for example, it's hard in a different kind of way, right? If you absolutely start a business, it's hard in a different kind of way. It's not about it being hard. It's about it being purposeful to you and your why, right?
Exactly. And knowing, regret and fear weighs more than that heart that you choose. So I always think about what would my 80-year-old self think if I look back and I didn't take that chance and I didn't give it my all, there is no losing, as Nelson Mandela says it. You either win or you learn. And that shift in mindset, even if you are facing roadblocks, even if you're failing, you're going to learn from it. And the people who succeed are not the ones that never failed. Actually, they failed the most and learned the most, and they kept going. One thing that is a lot underestimated, besides having that confidence and faith in your capability to overcome and to continue going despite the obstacle, is key. The other one is consistency.
Yes.
And falling in love with the process. So have clarity on that goal of yours and fall in love with the process, because we all do. Maybe 80% of what we do in business is not the glamorous things that we see on social media. It's the day-to-day processes, the not so, fun stuff. But it's part of the journey, and you do it with love, and you fall in love with it, actually.
Yes, it's about that, really embracing that process, and that it's okay not to know everything.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's another big holdup with entrepreneurs is, they may be an expert in that one particular thing, but it's also having the humility as well to learn that you don't know everything and to lean on others when it's an area of weakness for you. I love that, Nadia. It's so powerful and so pertinent. And one of the first questions I usually ask entrepreneurs that I work with, they're hung up on all of these questions. Who's my target audience? How much do I post? What do I post about? Marketing, all of these things.
Yeah.
But it's really about what problem do you want to solve for somebody else? And, and then what makes you feel purposeful? And if you can figure out those two questions, you're 80% there. And those are not the simplest questions, but they're relatively simple. So it's just about figuring out what those goals are, like you said, and getting clarity on that, so that you do have an understanding. And ultimately that leads to a lot less wasted activity.
Absolutely.
and more confidence building, don't you think, when you have that clarity?
I think a lot of entrepreneurs, I looked into a report by CB Insights, and they looked at what are the main reasons for failure of startups. One of the top ones is lack of market fit. Means people develop something that people don't care about. It doesn't solve a real problem. And there are data that shows that companies that involve their customers early on, they engage them and they keep them in the loop, in the process of development, they outperform the S&P 500 by 200% over a period of 10 years. So start with the problem. Don't try to get a solution and go find the problem to solve. Start with the problem. Spend more time understanding the problem you're trying to solve. Put yourself in the shoes of your target audience. Walk in their shoes. See what they experience, what they think, what they feel, what they do. And when you are connected to those three levels, and then you can use what's called customer discovery. You can sense what kind of language they are using, what tone, what emotion is tied to that, and then use that in your messaging, in your branding, in your sales and marketing. You're going to see results. So the key is go into it with the intention to solve a problem that is a growing problem that people are willing to pay for.
Yes. It doesn't have to be too overly complicated. I think we put a lot more complication into it than we need to. And a lot of times there's an alignment problem with the actual target audience and understanding that target audience. So, for example, a founder, somebody who's starting a business, aligns with a completely different target audience than anybody they've even been before, have any experience dealing with. So ultimately, they aren't in the mind of their target audience, right? So, for example, somebody fresh out of college might not want to market to a CEO who's a seasoned professional because they literally don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
That's interesting, even though, that is a good market potentially, and, that target avatar has the money to support that service. Will you understand them
Yep,
and know the
exactly.
problems that they're trying to solve, right?
hmm Yeah, and nowadays we have tools that can help us speed up that process. Like generative AI is amazing in that it can help you, understand your target avatar, personalize almost everything. But the key, it doesn't replace humans. You still need to get out of the building, as Steve Blanks states. He's a professor of entrepreneurship at the Stanford University. You get out of the building, you talk to people, whether it's through Zoom, whether it's through a phone call. Nowadays, you can even do it in person. Not long ago, we couldn't do that. But get out of the building. Nothing replaces the human interaction.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can sense, 80% of our communication is in our body language. It's not in our, what we say. There is also tonality. There is also other cues that you can get. Are they excited whenever, you talk about the potential solution? Is it painful for them? Do they have, alternative solutions that they can go to, which necessarily means they will not buy from you? Are they ready? Where are they in that journey? Think of it as a journey. As I mentioned, for entrepreneurship, fall in love with the processes and the journey, keeping in mind your North Star. The same thing for your target audience. I think we are overcomplicating it.
Yes.
Think of them as being on a journey. My favorite go-to framework for storytelling, which is really powerful in connecting with people in general, not just for business, is, and let me break it to the audience here. Sorry, you are not the hero of the story. The sooner you learn that, the better off you are in business. The hero is your target audience. It's not you. It's not your awesome product. It's not your awesome tech. It's their pain point. The hero is them. They're experiencing a problem. You position yourself through talking to them, to many of your target audience, so that they know you are the guide who can help them solve that problem. Not only that, you give them clarity. You give them steps to take. You take them on a journey. You paint a picture for them. What the future could be. What are they missing if they don't solve the problem? And in many cases, they're not even aware of it. So your job is to help them through that journey. There is an awesome book called Story Brand, highly recommended. And it takes you through the framework how to do that. So, and when there's a lot of mindset shifts in entrepreneurship, especially if you are an academic. That is different. We care about impact, about, reproducibility, high quality, and so on. In business, you need to relearn and learn and relearn that maybe I don't need 10 replicates for that particular MVP. Maybe 2 or 3 are enough just to show it works. And then I can move it faster to solve the problem. So you see, you're taking your audience on a journey and changing your mindset that what I know is going to serve them so well that if they don't take action, it's a missed opportunity for them. That was a big mindset shift for me as an entrepreneur, because sales was not a natural thing for me.
Right.
So that's the key things that I thought are key for entrepreneurs. And confidence comes from taking action. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yes.
So it can be messy. It can be, incomplete. You learn from it. And the more you put it, the sooner you put it in the hands of the people you're trying to help, the better off you are.
Yep. You know me. I always talk about it, action takers only, right?
Yep.
So if you want to start a business, write this down, and you might want to save this episode. Listen to what she said. What did she say? She said, we have to reframe it. we're not the hero of the story. Our audience is. We are the guide that gets our audience to become the hero. And maybe it's something that they didn't even envision yet for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to show them the way and to light that path and guide them. So make the copywriting about the audience benefit, that target audience benefit, and sell from a level of service and solving. It's not necessarily about selling, it's about serving and solving. And that's, that mindset is very helpful to me as well, because I realize that if I'm not serving and solving enough, I do have a sales problem. And you know what? It may lead to a potential client making an incorrect buying decision by going to somebody else who may not care about their goals or dreams as much as I do potentially.
Exactly.
Very important, right? And you have to have a certain level of confidence, though, Nadia, in order to do that, don't you think?
Oh, I was so scared when I get like to the sales part of any of my, offers. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the audience perhaps have experienced that. And my tone of voice, my body language, I was tense up a little bit. And my voice will be a little shaky because it wasn't in my comfort zone. Then I thought of that. It's about putting the reps. It's about taking action. If they don't buy it, it's okay. And I'm getting more experience from that. I'm learning and evolving. It got to the point that I know that what I'm giving is gold. If they don't take it, it's on them, not me. That's how confident I am in what I'm offering to solve their problem.
Yes. And that didn't happen overnight, I presume.
No, it takes reps. And just to give you an example, now I may look very comfortable on camera and so on. It took me about 2 hours when I started to record a 5-minute video. Now I can go on a live without a problem and on a short notice. Think of it as a journey. The key is to start and have the confidence that I'm going to put in the reps. I'm going to put in the work. I will see return on my investment being time and effort over time. It's not, a quick win, become a millionaire in 30 days. So when you have that clarity that the action that you're taking is in the right direction, that you have a system in place, because motivation can get you started, but systems and consistency will keep you going.
Yes, I love that. Systems and consistency. And I did a poll about this recently. And the poll was simple. Is success a manifestation of self-belief? And I'm really curious to see the final results. But so far, most of the votes have come yes. Yes, it is a manifestation of self-belief. And the only way we can continue to increase the level of self-belief we have is by continuing to put in the reps. I have seen absolutely brilliant people hold themselves back and get in their own way when I see so much potential, but they're afraid to hit that first button and just go because they get trapped in this cycle of self-doubt and limiting beliefs. And they look at others and compare themselves to others and think how much farther along others are compared to where they are. That's irrelevant information. Don't let it seep into your brain. You have to start where you are, but you have to get started.
Yeah, that first step is key. And surround yourself with people who bring up your energy, not drain it.
Yes.
And the other thing also that a lot of people are afraid of judgment, that fear of judgment by others. I'm going to share an example here. So I had a public speaking coach and I worked with her for a few months and I do lives weekly on LinkedIn. And we have weekly coaching sessions. And she mentioned, Nadia, your lives are your energy level is not at the same level as when we are doing our group coaching. And we talked about it, and it was about, I would stream to multiple platforms, and one platform has my friends and family, and that conception that you need to fit in within a certain category automatically brought my energy level down, which reflected I came across as less confident. As soon as I'm like, okay, for these business stuff, I'm not doing that platform anymore. And it affected, the quality and how I came across as more confident in my lives. So perhaps sometimes look deeper. What's holding you back? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of being judged? Are you in a different chapter that certain people in your previous chapters are not? I believe everyone has, we have chapters in our lives. Some people are stay for longer. Some people are for certain chapters and you move on. And that's okay. That's life. So realize, where are you on your journey? Don't compare yourself to others. Your journey is your journey. Put in the reps, learn from it, and don't be afraid. To reassure you, people have less than 7 seconds attention. Trust me, online, it's going to be 7 seconds and they're going to move to the next thing. So don't worry about being judged.
Absolutely. We cannot worry about being judged. I used to be very similar, and I've shared that with you as well. It wasn't until April, I think, of 2022 when I posted my first video on social media. I used to shy away from the camera at all costs. Mm-hmm. If a camera were to come in the room and I was there, I would go to the other room. I would hide away. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that as an entrepreneur. So my fear of staying the same started to outweigh my fear of failure, of mm-hmm. judgment, of ridicule.
Yeah.
And yes, it happens. I absolutely do get ridiculed and judged, and I welcome it. You know why? Because it means I'm at least putting myself out there. Mm-hmm. If I did not put myself out there, nobody would know I was alive. And how much further could I possibly go in life or my career? I couldn't. Right?
Exactly. And as a business owner or an entrepreneur or a CEO, it's your responsibility to increase visibility for your startup. You do that through, your personal brand. Look at let's say, Elon Musk, how many followers he has on his personal page versus his company page. It's an order of magnitude. The same with so many leaders. So take the opportunity to elevate your brand. And it's going to give more visibility, not only to you, but to your startup, and open doors for you.
Absolutely. And for me, I look at website traffic as well. Last month, I think I had a 30% increase in my personal website traffic.
Nice.
So I see that people, they buy from other people. People want to hear your story. They want to mm-hmm. see and understand who you are,
exactly.
Because they're trying to make this decision, right? There's a lot of noise out there. There's mm-hmm. a lot of, I guess we could say it, disconnect. Mm-hmm. And people aren't sure of the right choices for their business. But that's why I take the opportunity to always interview. I say I interview the best people in the world on the show. And I really do. I want to cut through the noise and interview the people that are solving the big, real problems. And you're one of them.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. You've come up with all of these just exciting things to help entrepreneurs. And your work in the AI space is just incredible. You're one of the world's foremost leaders on this topic. How did you get to this place where you decided this is the avenue I'm going to go? And how did you identify it as an opportunity?
So one of my favorite subjects in when I did my Executive MBA was called Advanced Business Analytics. How do you see trends and predictions in business? And I thought it was fascinating. How can you use algorithms to predict future trends for business and be in the forefront? One example that spanned from our research at the University of Pittsburgh, doing whole genome screens, meaning you screen the whole genome for epigenetic screen, which is non-genetic modifications. and how they affect the gene expression from accessible sample in the nose, scraping the nose. And we were able to get 30 markers that can predict which kid will have asthma in the future with 90% accuracy. And not only that, I was in Puerto Rican children. 28 out of those 30 markers replicated, meaning they worked as well in other populations, including African Americans and white population with close to 90% accuracy. The potential for such thing is that, imagine I have a kid with asthma. If they are flagged in the coming 6 months, you may need an emergency visit. And it happened to my kid.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours, he was in the ICU with the severe asthma. If he was flagged, I would have, added, hey, see your PCP more frequently, your primary care physician, or even a specialist before you go to the most expensive unit in the hospital, not to mention the distress that you have as a caregiver for your kid being in the ICU. So I thought there is huge potential for using these advanced models, not only to improve processes and to make informed decisions based on AI. And I did a poll a while back. What are the areas that you use, AI for? Most of it was in the generative AI, content creation, and some of it for customer service. The lowest one, which was below 10%, was predictive analytics. Yet that's the area that can bring you the most value in your business. Imagine, Tara, you have your data from the past year. We're in December. A lot of people are looking at evaluating their business and strategizing for next year. And you were targeting multiple, segments. And you see that this type of content converted better with this particular niche. There is the 80-20 rule in business, the Pareto example. You identify what are the 20% activities that bring you the most return or move the needle the most in your business. And those predictive models are primed for that. You can analyze and then say, oh, this type of activity didn't convert as well. This is the niche that I need to serve. That you can go back and analyze the sentiment even. So you can tailor your messaging to that particular segment and increase your revenue, increase your satisfaction of your customers, and what's called the LTV, the lifetime value for each customer. As a business owner, you have three things. You can, raise awareness. That's the part that a lot of entrepreneurs and startups, they missed, because it's going to cost them more in advertising down the line. The second is traffic. You need to drive traffic to whatever you are, whether it's a website, a product, or a service. The third is the conversion and retention. So it takes a lot to get people into your word and how awesome you are and how you can solve their problem. Once they're there, it costs a lot. In business, they call what's the cost of customer acquisition. Mm-hmm. If you're raising money, they ask you, how much does it cost you to get a customer? Because it costs so much. You have an incentive to retain those customers. And that's by personalizing your communication using, tech, improving their satisfaction. And when you do, they will use the word of mouth to shout from the top of the roofs how awesome you are. And this will reduce your cost of advertising and marketing and so on.
Absolutely, because you have happy customers that are willing to advertise and sell for you.
Exactly.
Which yours are, because they're so happy and having so much success. And you know what? You're kind enough to give our listeners a freebie. Yes. For the listeners out there, I created stuff that would have helped me like a year ago. So the first one, when I polled the audience, what's the number one problem you face, was self-confidence. So I created a guide about how to overcome imposter phenomenon. I refuse to call it a syndrome. And the second one is an ultimate cheat sheet for business, ChatGPT for business. It has my master prompt that I use for myself. It saves me 3 hours a day.
and different areas of business that are critical for your business that you can use. Not only that, I will give you options on what scenarios you can use them for.
Oh, that is so amazing. So I will make sure to put that in all of the links that this video will be posted.
Exactly. And one more thing, if you can comment either in the chat or in my DM confidence, so I know you came from Tara's show, and I will send you the PDFs, no sign up needed. And if you're interested in AI for business, you can check my newsletter on my LinkedIn profile.
Yes, I am a happy subscriber of your newsletter and advocate for it. Everyone should definitely subscribe to Dr. Nadia's newsletter. But I love this. So much gold, so much advice for really anybody, but especially someone who is thinking about starting a business or relatively new startup founder, that, you know, sometimes the things that can hold us back are ourselves. So we don't want that, right? Dreams should be realized. And if it's your dream to start a business and the thing that's holding you back is your level of self-doubt, read her imposter syndrome booklet that she will send to us.
Because also read Tara's Grasp Your Confidence book. Gratitude. Her grasp method is awesome. And you feel inspired to make change.
Yes, it is so key, isn't it? It's for me, it does start with gratitude, but I love that. Thank you so much for coming to the show today, Nadia, and for being just an amazing friend as well. If you're not connected up with Dr. Nadia, please connect up with her on LinkedIn. She's very active on all social media platforms. But do yourself a favor and subscribe to her newsletter, because it could literally be the catalyst that takes your business from fledgling to flourishing. So thank you so much for coming on the show today, my friend.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the audience.
Thank you. We'll see you in the next episode. And that's a wrap for this episode of Grasp Confidence. Thank you for joining me today and investing in yourself. Remember, building confidence is an ongoing journey, and each step you take brings you closer to the empowered, fearless version of yourself that you were born to be. Don't forget to visit my website, follow me on social media, and purchase my book, which is available on Amazon. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next episode. Stay confident.